What's up guys, Nolan here, and today we had a massive Russian community podcast with Nikita, the lead dev of Escape from Tarkov. Sneaky Russian was kind enough to translate this to English for us over on his Twitch channel, so check that out below if you want to see the full 3-hour cast. Now I'm going to hit you guys with the bad news first. We got no info regarding a date for 12.8 yet, but we still have an English podcast coming next week where Nikita confirmed today there will be more info, including work in progress pictures and videos. The second part of that bad news is that Nikita has officially publicly doubted that patch 13 will be coming this year. So I will restate what to some may be obvious at this point, but patch 13, which is supposed to come with Streets of Tarkov, the new vest system, and more, seems to be doubtful by Nikita himself for this year. We'll see what comes of that specifically, but Nikita then went on to mention the work that's been done on the vest system and even talked about how the new HitBox system will work. It was literally exactly how I've described it in my video, so you can check that out below if you want to know more, because it's very in-depth, and again, I've already covered all of that, so I don't want to do it again. The TLDR, however, is that armor is going to change significantly, and he just confirmed it again. So go check that out if you want to learn how that's going to work. There was also no news on when the wipe will be yet, and for those wondering, it will either be patch 12.9 or 13, but other than that, we have nothing else that's solid. BSG are still obviously working on 12.8, where there will again be quality of life improvements, including UI and menus. There will be new mechanics. They will add the compass, and they will add the new heavy bleed type for wounds. The normal type of bleed will still be here, but now additionally you can get a heavy bleed that can cause you to go into shock. Nikita didn't mention this being arterial bleeds and never seemed to mention tourniquets, but again, this was a translation, so we'll see what comes up next week. Nikita mentioned the hemostatic injectors will now have 3 uses, and I think he mentioned the use of the gauze injector as well, which hopefully we can get that confirmed next week too. Along with this, Nikita also confirmed the addition of a 1x1 medical pouch that will open to at least a 6x6 or more for meds only. This will be super handy for those stims and just anything else medical related. BSG removed the spawn chance for grenade launchers in raid right now, and they will be making changes to it in 12.8, but no specifics on that yet. Nikita went on from here to mention that the game will never be balanced on purpose. Things will stay overpowered for a reason, but the balance will come in the rarity, which takes time to test and figure out. They are not going to remove grenade launchers, and in fact they're going to be adding more and still plan to add all of the other types of launchers and explosives as well. Nikita confirmed the new map expansion coming before Streets of Tarkov, and I was wrong. It's not factory. It's actually going to be woods. Nikita went on to mention that they are actually working on factory as well, but they decided to do woods first. Woods will be expanded by 1.5 to 2 times its size in the direction of the southern vehicle extract and around Sniper Scav Mountain. A lot of people seem to mention that this would be in the direction of reserve, which I don't think is right. I've always thought woods was north of customs, which doesn't make sense for it to go towards reserve. But if I've been wrong this whole time and that was the case, that would make sense for both map to map travel as well as why the vehicle exit is called south. So we'll see what happens. Nikita mentioned that the team is not back in the office yet and that they were making good progress at the beginning of the pandemic, but issues are starting to compound and they're starting to slip a bit. He is adamant that the game will absolutely not take another 5 years to finish because it's not what anybody, including the team, actually wants, and he said he'll speak more on that soon. In total, the BSG team is at 115 with an additional 30 outsourced employees, and they are still looking to hire more. They are specifically looking for engineers and tech artists, but are listening to anyone who thinks that they can contribute to the project. Check out their website for more on that. Nikita went on to mention his time shooting the new Kalashnikov weapons, including the AK-308, which he compared to the kick of a Scar H. So Nikita has personally shot a Scar H, confirmed POG. He then mentioned that the double barrel shotgun, the revolvers, and a couple other guns are stuck in a development loop because they keep getting pushed for bigger priority items, so no double barrel or Chiappa yet. In terms of possible weapons and attachments, Nikita mentioned that they have met very few weapon or attachment manufacturers who didn't want their products in Escape from Tarkov, so there is no shortage of stuff that they can add for legal or artistic reasons. He mentioned they even have Western companies sending them detailed 3D scans of their products or the stuff that can't be imported into Russia. The team is working on networking for loading times in and out of raids, as well as general netcode improvements. The hit registration issues that have been brought to light recently is seen as a bug and absolutely not intended, so they will be working on that eventually. They're having more issues with the Steam audio systems than they thought, and that is going to be delayed further, but they are working on possible other solutions for it, which hopefully we'll hear specifics about that in English next week. Nikita mentioned the internal roadmap for the company is fine and that everyone on the team is working very hard towards their goals, including now Raid Episode 5, where they've started to work on that as well. Apparently they're working with a new special effects company, which to many people in chat, myself included, love the effects as they were, so we'll see if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Now for the frontline news on the war with cheaters, Nikita mentioned the reason why you may get killed by somebody a few times who is clearly hacking is because sometimes it takes a little bit of time to get to Battleye, and sometimes it's because they are actually watching that person. So for the greater good, they allow them to keep playing in order to collect data on them, and this has allowed them to make massive advances. Work with Battleye moves very quickly sometimes, and that contributes to the small updates that we're seeing, as most of them are fixes and systems for the fight against cheaters. Nikita mentioned the report system is working great and it's helping a lot, so be sure to keep using it. He then went on to tell everyone to please use two-factor authentication on your accounts. There may be a new security system coming where some regions will be required to hook your account to a mobile phone number in order to log in. This should help stop hackers significantly, and for some regions it will be mandatory. Nikita confirmed a ton of new quests are coming, including even daily quests, which may be in as soon as patch 12.9. They're also going to be rebalancing a bunch of old quests, where I'll just say that the joke here was that we would need to kiss our thick cases from quests goodbye, and Nikita did not laugh at that, so keep that in mind. On that subject, Nikita wanted to make sure that people understood the game isn't finished yet. There will be significant changes to the game that will make it play much more differently, and we should remember that. He mentioned market and economy changes for balance reasons, but also realistic reasons. He wants timed market events and fluctuating supplies to be a thing in the future. People who like to play the market will be able to find these new things and benefit from them first, and even on a daily basis or pattern. Nikita then mentioned wanting every single wipe to make the game more and more interesting, so be prepared for change. Many people were wondering if this meant the flea market, but he didn't give specifics. I can almost guarantee he'll talk about this more in English next week. Then last but not least, Nikita again confirmed there will be private servers in the future where you and your friends can play without progression. He also wants this for future tournaments as well, so again, it's confirmed as coming. Nikita took it one step further and mentioned there even being an offline mode with progression, but you would never mesh that account with online servers, and that's going to open up a massive can of worms there, so we'll see if that ever happens. And he did not even come close to confirming that. He is just simply mentioning that they've thought about it. While this podcast was going on, the BSG Twitter account tweeted this picture of the Vepr Hunter with some kind of new stock and its new suppressor. Oddly enough, in this cast, Nikita did not mention practically anything about the Vector, the RFB, or any of the guns that we should be seeing recently, other than when he mentioned the shotgun and the Chiappa not coming anytime soon. Now, on the other hand, I really think that we are going to be seeing something next week, but if we don't see anything on the Vector or the RFB next week when he's going to be showing us these work in progress materials, then that might be a bit of a problem, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. That was it for today's Russian podcast, and again, remember this was translated by Sneaky Russian, so you can go check him out below to watch the full thing back for yourself. We will be getting an official BSG cast sometime next week in English with even more info, some work in progress materials, and them juicy NIKI leaks, so stay tuned for that. Now, if you need more Tarkov content in your life, then check out these playlists here. If you are looking for people to play with, then check out our Discord below. If you like this video, then you know the drill. I really appreciate the people who do. Otherwise, I hope you at least learned something, and I also hope you have a nice day. See you guys.